Today we're doing the lesson for 3.1, Order of Operations. You may remember this as PEMDAS, or Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, where P stood for the parentheses, E exponents, M multiplication, D division, but there's a special rule for multiplying and dividing, which said you had to do it from left to right, and you have to do all multiplying and dividing in one step. Then we have the addition, subtraction, and the rule was the same from left to right, and you have to do all of it in one step. That means that there can be a total of 4 different steps for order of operations. So looking at the first example, you'll see that there's a multiplication here, and a division here. So you do have to do all 3 of them in the first step. So looking at these as integers, this is a -4 and a +6. You multiply them together and you get -24. This is a +2 times a -3. Keep in mind you're only allowed to write one sign between numbers. So a positive and negative gives you a -6. And then here two negatives will give you a positive, and 14 divided by 7 is +2. Now you have to do all adding and subtracting from left to right. So -24 minus 6 is -30. And then +2 is -28 for your final answer. Next example. Here we have parentheses, so you have to do what's inside the parentheses first. 8 minus 12 is -4. Carry down the squared. Now -4 squared means -4 times -4. 2 negatives make a positive, so that will give you an answer of 16. This one we have a multiply. We have a parenthesis, and we have this exponent, so you have to do the parentheses first. So the -2 carries down, the -9 plus 12 is 3, and the cubed carries down as well. Now we have to do the exponent, so the -2 carries down, and 3 to the power of 3 is 27. Now we only have multiply left, so -2 times 27 is -54. Here we have parentheses here and here. We have exponents there and there. We have a multiply here and a multiply here, and then we have to either an addition or subtraction when we're done. So doing exponents first. So the 4 carries down. 6 minus 8 is -2. The 3 carries down, and then you carry down the -3. And then 5 minus 8 is -3, plus 2 is -1, and it remains to the power of 15. Now we do our 2 exponents. So the 4 carries down. -2 to the power of 3 is -8. Then -3 carries down, and then we've got -1 to the power of 15. So when you have an odd number of negatives, your answer will be negative, and 1 to the power of 15 means 1 times 1 times 1, 15 times, which is -1 as an answer. Now we have a multiply here and back here. So 4 times -8 is -32, and -3 times -1 is +3. Now we have the addition. So we have -32 plus 3, and our answer is -28. Next step, so let's move this over here for now. So we have, I don't know what, let's see, so we've got, in the first step we only have this parenthesis here, so the top just carries to the next line. We have the -2 carry down, and then 4 minus 6 is -2 squared, and then the -5 times -2 carries down. Next step, we are dealing with the exponents, so this front part carries down, and then -2 squared is -4. The -2 carries down, and the -2 squared here is +4, because this one's in parentheses, the other one wasn't. And then -5 times -2 carries down. Now we have to do all the multiplying, so 8 times -2 is -16, divided by 4 is -4, and then this back -4 carries down, and then -2 times 4 is -8, and -5 times -2 is +10. Now we do the addition on the top. as well as the bottom. So negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8, and negative 8 plus 10 is positive 2. Now we simplify the fraction, so negative 8 over 2 is, and that line here means divide, so negative 8 divided by 2 would simplify down to negative 4. Put this back over here. So we have brackets. So if brackets are present, you must do inside the brackets first as if it is a separate question, and then you do the outside part as its own question as well. So you can have a maximum of 8 steps when there are brackets present. So looking at this example, looking inside the brackets, we can't touch anything on the outside. So inside we do have parentheses. So we're going to do, we can't touch anything other than what negative 3 plus 6 is, which is positive 3. So everything carried down, I changed that to a 3. Still working inside the brackets, I have a multiplication and I have addition, which means you have to do negative 2 times 3 first, and you get negative 6. So nothing will change other than this becoming a negative 6. Still working inside the brackets, we have a negative 6 plus 4. So we do that addition and we get to negative 2 as an answer. Now, once you have one number left in the brackets, you can change it to a regular parenthesis, because now it just means multiply by this positive 4. So looking at this brand new PEMDAS question, we have to do this multiplication first. So positive 4 times negative 2 is the negative 8. And now we just have the combination of the negative 3 and the negative 8, and that will give you a negative 11. So what we're going to be doing for homework is a worksheet 1 through 10. Thank you for being in my class today.